Stuck in the middle. Iraq and the enduring conflict between United States and Iran. Why does Iraqi president fear US tensions with Iran will lead to conflict? Iran was a close ally of United States during most of the reign of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, but Pahlavi was overthrown by the 1979 Iranian Revolution and replaced with Shiite-led Islamic Republic. That November, Iranian militants took about 70 American hostages at the US Embassy in Tehran. The hostages were held for 444 days. Iran's relationship with United States rapidly deteriorated and has remained strained since. Iraq is Iran's neighbor. The two nations share a 1,500-long border. Historically, Iraq had formed a part of Persia for hundreds of years. Roughly 70% of the population is Shiite, with most of the remaining population is Sunni, though Iran has almost 4 times the territory as Iraq. In the modern era, the two countries have had a tense relationship. Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein invaded Iran in 1980, prompting an 8-year-long war that left hundreds of thousands dead. However, after Saddam's Sunni-dominated government was toppled by the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003, Iraq came to be dominated by Shiite political groups, some of whom were allied with Iran. The tensions between the United States and Iran was especially noteworthy in Iraq, where about 5,000 US troops are deployed ostensibly to aid the Iraqi fight against Daesh. Powerful Shiite militias, many allied with Iran, expanded their reach during the battle to liberate land held by Daesh as part of the Popular Mobilization Forces. At the moment of intense crisis, both United States and Iran pulled back. Iran's retaliatory ballistic missile strike against 2 US bases in Iraq on January 8 did not result in any US or Iraqi casualties. That was not incidental, likely owing much to US advanced intelligence and preparedness and to Iran's choices. The retaliation allowed the Iranian leadership to demonstrate resolve domestically following Soleimani's death. It also allowed Tehran a level of control over the result of the strike that could not have been assured if it relegated the reprisal attack to pro-Iranian militias in Iraq. When the United States killed Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani on January 3rd, it also killed Abu Muhaddis al-Muhaddis, a powerful Iraqi militia leader, the most critically destabilizing US-Iraq relations. The decision to kill Soleimani in Iraq and the collateral death of Muhaddis significantly weakened US relations with Iraq. Killing Soleimani anywhere would have been a highly provocative step by the United States, but killing him in Iraq worsened the situation. Not only is the shadow war between Iran and the United States going to go on, much of it will pay out in Iraq. Like Soleimani, Muhaddis was a thug, leader of one of Iraq's most vicious, abusive militias, Kataib Hezbollah, a group deeply implicated in sectarian rampages, war crimes against other Iraqi, drug smuggling, extortion of Iraqi and other mafia rackets, weapons smuggling and killing of many Americans. Muhaddis was a highly pro-Iranian Iraqi and did much of Soleimani's bidding in Iraq. Although ostensibly merely the deputy of umbrella group of Iraqi militias known as Popular Mobilization Forces (PMF), he was in fact the most powerful leader of the group, simultaneously the most powerful leader of pro-Iranian segment of PMF. The PMF are not just street militias, although some of them engaged in all manner of illicit economic activities, political repression and extortion, and the PMF are also formally part of the Iraqi security services, where they have obtained legal protection and collect state resources, infiltrating, permitting, hollowing out, undermining, and constituting the Iraqi state all at once. For latest current affair news, subscribe News 786, like and share the video. Consequently, Muhaddis was not just a street thug, he was indeed a top-level Iraqi security official. In other words, in killing him, the United States killed a high-level Iraqi official, albeit one the United States had designated as an international terrorist. It did not so on Iraqi soil, despite repeated promises not to use the US post-2014 presence in Iraq for such actions. In addition, the pro-Iranian militias, the PMF, is comprised of other groups as well. This includes the so-called Shrine Shia militia groups pledging allegiance to Iraqi Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, as well as Sunni and ethnic militia groups. The non-Shia groups have resented the yoke of the pro-Iranian PMF on top, and the very popular and severe shrine militias have kept their distance from Iran. They have not allowed themselves to be used in Iran's proxy warfare and are much less politically and economically ambitious than the pro-Iran segment of PMF. But although the Marjaya, the powerful Shia clergy that guides the shrine militias, has not called the expulsion of US troops from Iraq, it indicated its displeasure at the killing by welcoming the bodies of Muhaddis and Soleimani in Najaf, conveying to Shia followers its rejection of US action. The Marjaya has been crucial counterbalance to Iran and a force of restraint and moderation in Iraq. Though it is not a pro-US force, the Shia leadership hostility in Iraq towards the United States would critically weaken the sustainability of US presence in the country. Inevitably, the Iraqi government had to act against US military presence in Iraq. After encouragement from Iraq's caretaker Prime Minister Adil Abul Mahdi, Iraq's parliament, with strong pro-Iran political factions underpinned by street militias, voted that the US military forces must leave Iraqi territory. The United States has dismissed the resolution as non-binding and has refused to honor it. The parliament did not have a proper quorum as Sunni and Kurdish parliamentarians abstained from voting. They want to keep the United States in Iraq and fear the rise of sectarian violence and their marginalization by powerful pro-Iran Shia group in American absence. In response, Washington threatened Iraq's poor economic with crippling sanctions, which would cause even more unemployment, poverty and misery, lack of services, and political and social instability. The US military in Iraq has also restarted its joint operation with Iraqi security forces, which after the killing of Muhaddis and Soleimani, it had suspended to maximize US force protection. But despite US attitude and Mahdi's softening of his stance since, the image of the US forces in Iraq is an occupying force rather than an ally helping to combat the weakened but not eliminated Islamic State has been fanned. The United States does not have any credible record that its killing of high-value targets produce less bloodshed and moderation on the part of the terrorist or criminal organization it is trying to coerce. The US killing of the Afghan Taliban leader Mullah Mansour only enabled the rise of the much more bloodthirsty Sirajuddin Haqqani to the top of the Taliban's leadership and failed to cause any meaningful fragmentation or weakening of the Taliban. The Taliban's military activity of Afghanistan has been stronger than ever. The group cohesion was held. In Mexico, the US supported killing and arrest of the top cartel leader only brought forth more vicious and aggressive narco juniors and shoot then think or just shoot lieutenants, badly worsening the high security in the country.